Here.
Schatzinger.
Here.
Gallops.
Here.
Grunert.
Here.
Gotsky.
Here.
Sorensen.
Here.
Split.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I'm Reverend Karen Gigax Rodriguez, living in Ripon and pastoring in Green Lake, and I understand that this is the first meeting of the council since Howard's passing, so I wanted to recognize that and give God thanks for his life and his work and service here. Let's join together in a word of prayer. Lord, as we gather here this evening, we are mindful that the most important things in life are the people that we love and those who love us, and the gifts of service that we can give to our communities. And we thank you for this group of people who are dedicated to serving and taking time out of busy lives to do this very important work. It's always good to be able to just stop and be in your presence, knowing ourselves as beloved sons and daughters of your redeeming grace. Bless the work of this group this evening, and we offer these prayers in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. All right. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by Doug, seconded by Jolene. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. There's no one signed up for public comment tonight. All right. Is there a motion to accept informal reports from standing committees and staff?
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved by Jonathan, seconded by John. Any discussion there? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the informal reports from standing committees and staff, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar as published?
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Is there, moved by David, seconded by John. Any discussion on the consent calendar? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent calendar say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Moving into our first agenda item for the evening is the outdoor open container entertainment event permit application. This one is put forth by Ripon Main Street for October 13th for their Ripon Rhythm and Brews event in the downtown district.
I'll make a motion to approve the application.
I'll second.
Motion's made by David, seconded by Jonathan. Any discussion or questions? We do have Craig here, if there's any questions for Craig.
I do have one for Craig. There's usually a map.
Yes.
I did not get anything like that. I take it it's the same.
Yeah, roughly the same area, but we're still completing the participation for the businesses. So
Okay.
I think there'll be probably another handful of participants in the next week or so.
Okay.
But all within the 100 through 300 block and possibly the side?
Yes, Blackburn and Jackson.
Okay, so we do have some Blackburn and Jackson.
Yeah, the last few times we've had Better Homes and Gardens participate, and the last time we also had State Farm Insurance participate.
Okay.
And there is a typo on the application, so I had both, I think I had two check marks, one for for a glass and one for a cup or something.
The verbiage was 6-ounce glasses, but then you referred to cups in the next sentence.
Okay. Yeah. It's a 6-ounce glass. Just like we did last time.
And they take the glass from business to business.
Correct.
Okay. Business to business.
Correct.
Okay.
Is there anything that you know of, right? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, considering you had it in the past and...
Yeah. We're using the KISS approach. Keep it simple. It worked last time. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the outdoor open container entertainment? That is approved. All right, next up is City of Ripon credit card policy. Adam, do you want to start the discussion here?
Yeah, I can just give kind of. So we've been comprehensively reviewing the city financial policies, procedures. We've brought forward some things in the past. This is just another one. So we've kind of refined the process internally about how we handle credit cards. So this policy essentially mirrors what we are in practice. We've sort of ignored previous policy. If there's been anything, we've set forward what we feel is a more appropriate policy. So you can see here, there's a purpose for it, obviously pretty standard in terms of why we would establish this. And then you get into procedure. You can see throughout the checks and balances and separation of powers, internal controls established for credit card use. So finance director taking on certain responsibilities overseen by the city administrator, processed by the logged, things are tracked and forwarded to different people, so the same person isn't making the charge, submitting it to billing, processing billing, so on and so forth. There are credit card limits in there, so the maximum amount that we have among all of the cards is $15,000. So each card that we have out has a minimum of $1,000. So mostly cards are dedicated to each department. The department head is the custodian of that card. Most cards have a maximum charge amount of $1,500 to $2,000 with a maximum of $15,000 among the entire city. They go and take care of transactions, submit, like I said, log things, make sure that things are tax exempt. So we're keeping that forward of mind when making purchases. Beyond that, there's also a whole entire section on credit card security and ensuring that if there is potential, compromise of the card that's reported, making sure people are not just writing it down, keeping control of it, not saving it on computers, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much it. And then also just setting the expectations for use, for city purpose only, that it shall not be used for personal use, and then has an authorization form and acknowledgement that employees would sign. So it doesn't really change what we have set up, it just sort of strengthens the overall policy and expectation.
Any questions on the policy, or would anyone like to make a motion to approve the policy?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion's made by Jonathan, seconded by Doug. Any discussion?
Yeah, I've got a
Doug?
question. Adam, it says credit card security. Says employees should not save or auto-save any credit card information on any website, and et cetera. How can you police that? Is that part of our, is there a way that can be checked? Is that browser going to be scrubbed or watched or something so we know if it was saved or not?
Yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to, that's a more of an awareness,
Okay.
tool to ensure that, in my previous experience, there have been times where cards have been used and saved, and then, it may be, this says not having it on personal computers, right? Things of that nature. And then when it's very easy to just click buttons and order something nowadays, and you want to not charge the wrong thing. So that's an awareness thing. If it happens and we know there's a violation, we'd handle it. But that's more of an awareness and an expectation thing to staff to understand they shouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
Julian?
With the point of how easy it is to maybe accidentally use it, hopefully that doesn't happen, but should we add something in the policy about if the credit card is accidentally used for personal use, that they need to immediately tell their direct supervisor, or, should there be something stating what the next steps are expected of, and that otherwise someone could wait weeks and they say, well, I didn't know what to do. I don't know if we say you have so many days to report it, I don't know.
In my opinion on that, the opening the door to recognize that there may be an accidental charge, the policy in my mind should just say you should not use this card for personal use.
All right.
There's possibly a procedure beyond the policy for correcting a mistake, because mistakes do happen, but I don't think it necessarily should be spelled out in the policy, because that kind of creates a not acceptance of a mistake, but
Recognition
recognition of a mistake. Thank you.
Yes, certainly this is aimed to avoid those and to report when there is potentially fraudulent or unnecessary activity on the card. So a policy violation, there is a policy violation in here. If they violate it, they are subject to penalties, laws, and city personnel policies. So I think from that perspective, we're covered, and generally speaking, there have been examples I've seen in other communities where somebody accidentally uses a card, right? Like that shouldn't happen, but it has. And you just work out that they reimburse, and you make note of it, and it's just, don't do that again. And if it becomes a habitual thing or a problem, obviously progressive discipline in the personnel policy would be what would follow.
Yeah, I get that, and I guess it is what it is. I almost feel like, I wish in the policy violation area, letting someone know immediately looks better than having that person wait, even if it wasn't fraudulent, that would potentially harm the city, more than just stating, I guess it's assumed, hopefully, that someone would report it immediately as soon as they found out.
The employee shall notify city administrator of any suspicious card activity or potentially fraudulent activities. It's in there.
It won't take longer than 30 days because I balance and reconcile it every 30 days.
Yeah, okay.
We have a log. If it's not on the log and it comes up, only certain people are using it, it's.
Yeah.
It could be covered under the clause fraudulent activity, because you're not supposed to use it for personal use.
If
You
you're
have
not
a duty.
saving it too.
Yeah.
So if you're not
You have
saving the
a-
numbers.
You have a duty to
You gotta
say.
pull the card out and type it
Yeah.
in. You'll know it's not yours.
Yeah.
Any further questions or discussion? All right. The last item tonight is proposed procedure for filling District 3's vacancy. It's a tough one to fill. Sorry. Adam.
Yes, so, sorry. Howard Hansen, we wanted to put this on and begin the process. to fill that seat. This is a little bit of a unique situation compared to some of the ones we've had to do in the last, since I've been here, it's been a couple times. But there's a path laid out in your packet for a timeline. And we would certainly just want to keep this moving and it's open to discussion or any comments.
Do you need a motion to proceed?
Generally speaking, yes. I mean, the timeline here is, we'll post it, get it out there, and then things will come before the body as the timeline unfolds. So,
Okay, I move we accept the proposed procedure for filling the District 3 vacancy.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Ellen, seconded by Doug. And just so people at home are aware, this would be for the remainder of the term through April of 2026. Is there any discussion on the policy or any requests for changes? As it's written here is fairly standard as to how we've proceeded in the past for other vacancies.
I do have a question on the posting. It's saying that the council will make the appointment at 7 PM. It makes it sound like we're going to do it immediately at 7. And I know it's nitpicking here, but
that's at the council meeting, so it just makes them aware that they should be here at
Yeah.
that point. Like, if
at
they're,
that time,
that's
okay.
more or less the idea, just to ensure that
Right,
on the
just-
calendar, somebody can,
Kind of reads kind of a little strange.
yeah.
And just for the record, I just want to double check the filling of the vacancy if there's a requirement that an election takes place at the next election. So I just want to double check that.
Julie?
I guess I have a question on that. Even if it doesn't require the election, is there a reason other than maybe that hasn't been done in the past that we would not have that as an elected at the next election?
Yeah, that's what I want to check on.
But I mean,
If-
even if it's not required, I know you're looking to see if it's
Yeah.
required, but even if it's not required, why would,
It does make the election if we put both seats on the April ballot, it does make that election process confusing because it would be on as two separate seats. So there would be multiple candidates for both seats and that it wouldn't be the top two get the seats. It's going to be the top person in this race, top person in that race. So it does confuse
Hasn't past practice been that the council chooses someone to finish the term,
correct.
not be on the ballot for the next election? Because Terry is finishing a term, and that term would have ended in April of 2024. So that position will be on the ballot, and then 2 years later, that one. So
I just want to double
Yeah.
check, that's all. I just
Yeah.
reserving that so that it isn't.
Yeah, but typically it would be to finish the term.
And ultimately, you would almost have to establish a special election to occur at a separate election altogether that is have to be managed by the clerk and paid for by the city, sort of like the special election for the county executive that occurred like a year ago, and that was outside of the normal election cycle. And I think it's advisable in this process that be done for the mere fact of confusion and in fairness to the other seat in that ward that has a normal election cycle.
And elections are expensive.
So I did consult, and I was told that it would be just like it was for Terry. It would be filling the position until it's up, because you don't want to change. If we put him up for election the next term, that changes the election term for that seat. And you don't want to do that with two people in the same district.
so just as a follow-up, so we know that's interesting, that it would have to change. It couldn't stay with the same term if it was elected?
it would change.
Again, I didn't get an opportunity to research it, so I will make sure that it's accurate under state statute, because there is
Yep.
specific language in the state statute. I just don't have that available to me. So subject to that caveat, we can move forward.
So the motion should be to approve the proposed procedure for filling the vacancy pending confirmation on
State statute.
state statute.
State statute.
Acceptable to you?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the proposed procedure for filling District 3 vacancy pending verification of state ordinances, say aye.
I
Opposed? That is approved. Thank you. All right, moving on to project updates and staff reports. Water departments, good? Okay. PD?
I mean, but hold on, should we
Yeah.
not have an
Mention that.
update from this morning? Should there not be? I mean, the public is probably interested.
There was an incident where a water main was broken and it was corrected.
The sinkhole.
Yes, yes. It was a big break. But as far as I understand, the road is patched or at least filled back in. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
I saw it.
Yes. And Bill, you said you were nothing to add? Okay. Naomi? Adam?
So everybody's aware of, I think Howard's celebration of life that's occurring on Friday and Saturday. So we have posted a notice of quorum, so if you do attend, don't worry about that, so we've done that already. There's been correspondence out from Allison Burnett. So please, if you haven't scheduled a time or done the survey, do that, and that's all I have.
All right. I have no appointments this evening. Again, I will make a request to the public, or at least some heavy financial background. Accounting would be preferable. And I think that's currently our only open seat on committees. Any comments or future agenda items from council?
I should have done this at the last meeting, but I wanted to congratulate the staff on receiving that I think it's $42,000 grant or $420,000 grant for Selfridge Park.
420.
How much?
400.
420. So congratulations on your fine work for updating the park of my childhood.
Thank you, Ellen. Terry?
I'd like to possibly go for the next meeting that we discuss heavy trucking on Griswold Street. I think it'd be more appropriate for them to be traveling Highway 49, 44.
That may be a county issue, being a county highway.
It's already being addressed. Staff will be making a recommendation and working with the county. It is not a county road, but the incident this morning brought forward this kind of straw that breaks the camel's back on that issue. So we are putting in a detour kind of temporarily as we continue to explore the damage done by the semi that hit a hydrant and eventually cracked a water main, leading to about, 12,000 gallons per minute?
Yes, at one point.
Blowing through the street. We've explored it with the county before, but this is it. So we have a detour going in place. That detour we would intend to become permanent. So if we need to bring that forward next meeting, we will do so.
Okay.
But we're working on it already.
Thank you.
Yep.
Was it semi found?
Semi was found, yes.
Anyone else?
If you do hit a hydrant, just stop. Please, let us know.
If there's no other comments, I'll seek a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion's made by David, seconded by Doug. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 7:26. Thank you.